one day I put that money to a friend who told me $500 goes into Cardano, which is a cryptocurrency. We're talking about 2013, 14. I cannot remember the date, but maybe a bit later. Anyway. And we said, yeah, so maybe in 5 years, 6 years, I will give you some money, right? When COVID hit, this was supposed to be $500,000. And my friend told me, oh, I've actually never put the money here. I gave it back to you. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And I don't know if that friend actually put the money and never told me, got the 500,000, whatever. What happened to me is this happened a few times where I was supposed to also have a big contract, like we're talking about high 3 figures contract for my consultancy, which would change everything. And again, I want to invest it and etc. So if you do the calculations, I'm supposed to be a millionaire by now, and I'm not. So what happened with this, and this is what we figured out with Linda, is I'm always looking at the version of me that is a millionaire. And I'm always comparing myself now with what I'm trying to do and being like, yeah, but in my millionaire timeline, I don't have those problems. And I started to have this belief that I should have been a millionaire. So why am I not? It's unfair. And, all of the limiting beliefs that come with this. Now, I also had the belief linked to that I would be a millionaire, but I would be exactly the same person. Every trade that I have now, plus $1 million, because, then I can just do the things, I can impact the world, and I can be stress-free, at least from the money, right? And we figured this out. And then I'm going to tell the truth as well. I went on ChatGPT and I had a long conversation with this, trying to figure it out. And I came up with the fact that timeline that I had created in my head cannot happen, because the day I get the $1 million, I get complacent. I get, I've won at life, or at least at what I thought success was at life, which is now I have financial freedom. And I can just keep on investing, use the 40,000 it gives me every year, live my life in Spain without doing anything. But then I become complacent and I become, just that guy who got the money very quickly and that mindset. And I never create consciousness Dubai. And I never become the person that I am now. And ChatGPT told me something, says, you could not have the money because you would not have been able to keep it. But now you've become the man who can actually make that money and use it for the right purpose. And I was just like, whoa. So long story short, that story just reframed that there is not a better timeline with me being this millionaire from all of those things that should have happened and didn't. And now I'm just like, I'm on the right path. Everything is coming at the right timing. And I'm just enjoying that, process, that journey so much more from that.
The spiritual people would say you manifested that. You manifested that because you needed to be in that phase so you can actually enjoy the next one.
Yeah.
So it is you who manifested that struggle, that, difficulty or whatever you had. I like reminding myself those things like that, because everything we do is manifested somehow, right? So you manifested that because you knew deep down that you were either not ready or that's not really what you wanted, or maybe because you knew that deep down you wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
And thanks to that, you've done that.
Yeah.
Well done to you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I agree, Linda, what you said. Matthieu also told me that when he had a moment of down, like everyone, he was really sitting in his garden and trying to figure out what is it and how can I change and what is my life and what I have been doing the last years, etc. This willingness of that I believe is high performance to me. To my eyes, this is high performance because you constantly want to improve, and of course you're going to make money, but money will come naturally because you have done that work, and the more you do that work, the more you're curious on how you evolve as a human being and as a soul, etc., the more the rest will follow.
Yeah.
Completely naturally.
I think it's just acceptation of where you are right now, whether it's dark or bright, but especially when it's dark, to be comfortable with that darkness and that low moment, low energy, because you know that from this, there is such a bright future. It's like you're at the end of the tunnel. I can see the end of the tunnel. I can feel it. It's going to be so bright because now it looks so dark. And just being like, I'm going with it. I know it's happening because it has to happen, right?
Yeah.
The day only comes after the night. That's what the spirituality, the monks would say, right?
Absolutely.
And it is where the work is hard because it's painful. It's really, really painful. And there are so many times where you want like, I want out of it. I want out of this. Like, why am I in this phase? But no, just keep doing the work. Keep trusting this is for a reason. Keep trusting there's a lesson there that will help you.
Yes.
And once you're out, this is when you see things clearly. And you're like, oh yeah, that was the lesson.
But you see, I think that's why it's scary, because there's no path for everyone. Like, I think it's Tony Robbins who says the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. So it's an art for you doing that exercise, doing that that thing that you did worked out, and you find out. For Linda, it might be something else. For me, and honestly, for me, that was the very scariest part when I knew I wasn't feeling good. I knew something was off, but I had no idea how to fix it. And when I was sitting by myself trying to fix it, trying few exercises, I was still feeling crap because it's a work. And we need, we have to experience certain things. We have to test and everything. And I think that's what keeps us stuck also a bit sometimes. Even if we want to feel better, we don't really know what to do. We don't really know where to go. As you said, sitting with your pain. Oh my God, it's so hard. And I'm sure everyone in that room.
She's done that on purpose, right? With the Vipassana that you did.
Oh yes, the silence is
for
the
10
silence.
days, right?
I'd love to do it. How was it?
I mean, I think the Vipassana has been the best thing I did in my life, but it was also the most horrific experience of my entire life.
That is more.
It was, as a high achiever, I think you resonate with the fact of like, okay, I can do anything. I will adapt. Like, I will just make it happen. I'm very optimistic as a person. I always think like, yeah, it's easy. And I always survive. I did. But I think I totally underestimated how much stuff will actually come out. I did not really look into what Vipassana really is as a technique of meditation. So the ones who don't know, it's a 12-day silent meditation retreat where you go and you give up your phone, you give up everything that you can do notes with, any entertainment, you cannot speak to anyone, you cannot look at anyone. So you're technically in silence with your own thoughts and you meditate 10.5 hours per day.
And you can't write, right? You cannot write anything.
No, you cannot write, you cannot reflect technically, you cannot read, no, nothing.
And you're in this position, this meditative position that might be comfortable for 30 minutes, but you're there for 12 hours.
Yes.
When it gets painful, when your back hurts.
12 hours in a row of meditation?
10.5 hours per day. It's not in a row. But
in the same position?
Yes, you can move, obviously, but like the technique is that you should be able to sit as much as you can without moving. Because the whole technique is built on the fact that you need to start observing yourself and you need to, again, keep things where they belong. So you kind of like disconnect. So the whole idea is that when you sit and meditate, you start connecting with your sensations of the body. So first you focus just on the face, and then it's a full technique where you do body scan, but you start feeling these tingling sensations all over your skin. And the fact is that is happening all the time. But our conscious mind is not aware of this. Our subconscious mind knows all the things. So this is what happens. You link your subconscious to your subconscious mind. And you have now built this link to the subconscious mind, which means that you start having experiences, like you start purging out traumas, thoughts, visions, fears that are in the subconscious mind. So it's a very scientific technique, but I did not know that. So what happened is that the first days, you just practice this technique and it goes deeper, 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 deeper. And as I was sitting in these meditative sessions, I could totally disconnect, but I was so present. So I felt like I was out of my body, but I was still so present. And I started having these visions of like, I saw like really scary images in my mind. It was like someone would press a play button and just an image started running like a horror movie in my mind. And I got so scared. I was like, what is this? Like, it was like I had a dream, but I was awake. And the technique says that you should not try to visualize. I did not try to visualize. But this happened. And the teacher told me that it's technically like in your dream. Your subconscious is processing things. The dreams does not necessarily make sense, but it's your subconscious way to process stuck emotions. And that was exactly what my mind was going through. Then it moved to the fact, like when I did the body scan and I entered my hand, for example, I just started crying like a crazy person, and I had no idea why I'm crying. And this was for me the point where I'm like, I have done meditation for 10 plus years. I have done emotional release for years. I have done everything to really go deep with myself. And I had no idea here what's happening with myself. It was like my body is letting go and releasing, and my conscious mind has no idea what's going on. That was the most scary part for me. Also, for me personally, control is one of my biggest tikkuns, which comes from Kabbalah, but it's technically my kind of my hurt, my pain point. Control has been something that I worked a lot on. I had zero control. I did not know what's happening with my body, with my mind. I was just crying, and these fear states came up, like I'm about to fall asleep. And obviously, when you meditate so many hours per day, we only have 6 hours about for sleep. So I slept maybe 5 hours. So you are sleep deprived. You're tired.
For 12 days.
Yes, 12 days. Your body is hurting. Like, I'm a dancer and I'm flexible, but I can tell you the lotus position for 10 and a half hours for 12 days in a row, I was dying. So this all in a combination. I faced my darkest demons during those 12 days. I faced them alone, and I took the extra challenge. I did this in India, in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains. I was like so far away from home, alone. I did not know anyone from there. So I really put myself into the most challenging pressure cooker I could have ever done. But obviously, I also came out very refreshed and connected, very purified. But my nervous system, it took me, I think I'm still not recovered fully from that on a nervous system level, because the fear states were so real, and I was not prepared for them emotionally or mentally. So yeah, I do recommend.
Did you like make a big decision out of that straight after? Is it how it shows after the result, or is it more an internal state that is changing?
It was an internal state. I was so drained and tired after this experience, because I felt like, obviously, I gave my all. I did all of the sessions. I did everything that was asked. I did it to the extreme. So I pushed myself way beyond my boundaries, which was maybe a toxic trait from my background of like just doing it, even though might not be the best for my body. So I think it was the initiation. So this kickstarted a deeper project, or like a deeper transformation within. So after that, I've been questioning everything in my life, my purpose, my business, my relationships, my partnership, everything. It kind of like really reshaped me in ways I don't really can put into words yet. It's 3-4 months now since that, and I think by the end of this year I will be quite a different person.
Wow. You know, you can do it in Dubai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not in Dubai, in Ras Al Khaimah.
Ras Al Khaimah, yeah.
You can also do it if you want.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I've been thinking about it, but I was scared. Very scared. Not of not doing it, because I think, like as you said, if you really force yourself and you're here, but I'm really scared of what will come out of it.
I'm speechless with those experiences. It's so deep, so profound. Also, being Linda, right? Being so into consciousness all the time, and so intentional. You're a very intentional person. You don't do anything out of luck or just like just happens. No. Everything has been prepared. There's a why behind this. This way we're talking about this before. So you went really far on purpose. I've known some people who didn't go that far, right? So it's you who's deciding where you want to put the cursor, right? If you need a pillow for your meditation, you could also, right? If you need to stand up, you could. It's not like you can decide the level of difficulty you want to go, the length and everything else. But yeah, that remains such a powerful experience.
Yes, I think that's maybe what added, like, it's what you make it. And I think for me, being already so connected, I felt like I had the resilience or like the foundation to really go that deep. And I was already opening many of the things that came up. And I could have stopped there. I could have like closed up and be like, no, I don't want this to come out now. But I really surrendered. And that was also such a big thing for me because I've struggled with control. I've struggled with surrendering. So I even challenged myself there of like, okay, I will just I will take all of it because I knew I can take it. It didn't mean that it didn't mean it wasn't scary. It was really scary.
Yeah.
But I knew I can take it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's like the more connected you are with yourself, the more self-aware, you know your real boundaries. And you can push through certain physical boundaries, but then when it comes to emotional, spiritual, mental boundaries, I think that's where you really need to know that can have very big also damage on you if you push too far what you're not ready for. Body, same thing, but it's maybe easier to recover the body side.
I love one specific thing you said is you said I did my Vipassana and that is the start of my journey and I hope this will guide me and I will integrate so at the end of the year I am a better person. Well, you will keep on becoming a better person, but the Vipassana is not an end. It's not the release of all of your traumas. This is not this magic pill, this Peruvian plant medicine you can take and just in one day, you healed and all of your traumas are forgiven and now you're a new person. This is the start of something deeper. This is where consciousness comes in and that's the beginning of your integration phase, which might not have an end, but at least there's improvements along the way. So,
there's a lot of trust and faith. And I think that's so important. Yeah. So important to have when we are in our own cycle of life. Sometimes we tend to just want result now and maybe, from this retreat, I really want to get something. I really like what you show is about you do the work and you also trust what's coming. Because if you did the work and if you're open to things, you need to have faith in what you're doing and trust in what is coming. I think that is such a good feeling to have when you are able to trust the process and say, I've done what I need to do, I'm open to it, and I'm trusting what the universe or God, that depends of how you see life, is going to bring out for me. I really like that.
Yeah. I would like to ask you a bit more about who you are, what do you do, and what brings you to doing what you are doing at the moment. What was the story behind it? What is the why? If you want to start, Lucie.
What a question. Who am I?
Who are you? Deep down. We just talked about Vipassana and all of that. Who are you, Lucie?
I like to explaining by saying that I have this big duality in me, which is this very artistic person. I used to write songs. I still write songs, play the piano for 10 years. I have this really artistic part of me, and I have this really high achiever part of me, the ambition, the drive, the non-spiritual, and at the same time I have the spiritual. So I like to explain it by saying I have this duality inside me, and today I'm trying to make sense of them and to make them live together. And so the reason what I do today, it's because I feel there's a lot of people who think that they need to choose between ambition and fulfillment, and I don't like that idea. Because I've been there where I used to be a CFO, and I have been there where I only was achieving, and I was only in that ambitious drive part of me, but I was never really doing anything else than that, and it didn't serve me. I mean, I get things done, and I think that's why people are stuck as well. It's because it works until a point that it doesn't work anymore. So to answer to your question, my whole work has been about researching on how can I find a way and what are the techniques that we can use in order to be ambitious and at the same time find fulfillment in what we do. And I actually found that fulfillment and who you are, knowing that is actually the base and the foundation for you to use fully your potential and your ambition there. The reason why I do that is not only because I've been there, but I have realized like the last year, the real purpose beyond that is because I'm coming from a family where my parents were the opposite. My mom is very not a risk taker. She's very she doesn't like when things are changing. My dad is an entrepreneur. He lives life. Right? He is really following his instinct and stuff like that. And I've seen the damages that it created in their life, not being able to be themselves within the relationship fully. Now, they got separated 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and now they are their own self, they are themselves fully, and it's a completely different person.
That's beautiful, huh?
It's insane. Like, my dad is 70. I'm seeing part of him that I've never seen before. Why? Because he doesn't try to fit in that mold that he didn't really like, or he's not surrounded with someone who never wants to go on holiday like this. I remember we went to Spain in the middle of August, which is very busy. And we had a mat in the back of our car because he said, if we don't find an hotel, we'll sleep in the mat. My mom was like terrified and it was this thing. So, I think this is really my purpose, and the reason why I do what I do. It's because I want to live a life where I can be myself and I can, build a life on my own terms. And that's why I wake up in the morning. That's why I try to help as many people as I can to do the same. It's not about choose between corporate or entrepreneurship. It's about choose you every single time and build on that. Because if you do that, you're going to build success automatically. It's just flow. It's just natural, and you're going to change your life to the fullest. So that's really who I am, why I do what I do. I hope it's kind of clear.